If you've been wanting to perform virtual magic shows, I'm going to tell you what I've learned so far. Hello everyone. If you're like me and haven't worked in months due to the quarantine, you might be thinking about performing virtual shows. So here's what I've learned so far. I'm currently booked to perform some virtual shows in the next 2 months. And at the time of this video, I'm about 2 weeks away from my first show. Frankly, it's been a scramble to get up to speed, and I'll fill you in on what I've discovered. And perhaps you can learn from my journey and mistakes so far. This video is obviously incomplete as I'm still putting things together. If you'd like a follow-up to see where the show is just before it happens or afterwards and what I discovered, please comment below to let me know. If there's enough demand, I'll do a follow-up video or 2 on this topic. To start, a virtual show is one that you perform in real time for a live audience through an online video conferencing platform such as Zoom. And you perform this show from your home or studio. First consideration is the hardware. I needed a way to record video and stream it to the internet. My laptop already had a built-in webcam. If you don't have such a camera for your computer, you'll have to purchase a webcam that you plug into your system's USB port. These webcams provide different levels of quality in the video that they capture and come in a range of price points. Note that because lots of people are video conferencing these days, these webcams are in short supply. My laptop has a built-in webcam, but the quality falls far short of what I want to convey as an entertainer. As a result, I had to investigate the next hardware level that involves connecting a higher quality, dedicated camera to capture the video. Because of my YouTube work, I have a decent camera, but now I had to get the video into my computer. Some cameras from Canon and Sony allow you to connect directly to your computer through a mini HDMI to USB cable. If you have a camera, you'll have to check the manufacturer's sites to see if your camera can do this. My camera does not allow me to directly connect to a PC, but did feature the necessary mini HDMI port that could output data. The next step was to get the video from my camera into my computer, so I had to obtain a capture device. For my laptop, it would be an external device that connects to the PC's USB port. After a little research, I discovered that a device called the CamLink by a company called Elgato was considered one of the best. Unfortunately, this product has been in high demand and unavailable. A friend of mine who's a Twitch video game streamer had an extra external capture card, the Avid Media Gamer Live Portable, and let me use it. This is an older product, and the most recent drivers date back to 2016. I got it to accept video from my camera and bring it into my PC through what's called Open Broadcast software, or an OBS program that was running on my computer. You can learn from my mistake here. I was wrongly under the impression that I needed OBS software to accept the video and live stream. While the Streamlabs OBS allowed me to live stream into the Zoom video conferencing system, there was a big lag in the signal. I finally realized that I needed the camera to feed right into Zoom itself, and I couldn't get the Avid Media system to do this. I went on Amazon and found an external capture card that could be shipped to me in 2 days via Prime, a capture card by Nix. This product worked right out of the box, accepting the video from my camera and sending it directly into Zoom. Now I had video into my PC. You might want to consider power issues, as you don't want your camera to shut off during a show. The best way to prevent this is to not rely on a camera's batteries, but to plug it into external power. For this, some cameras can use something called a dummy battery. You replace your camera's battery with this and plug it into a wall outlet, and you won't run out of power. They are available online for specific cameras, and I purchased one that worked with mine. Another camera consideration is that you want a clean output. This means that the image that's sent to the computer is free of all of the camera information, battery life, exposure information, and such. I was lucky in that my camera allowed for a clean video feed. Last of all, you'll need a tripod on which to mount your camera. You don't want to lay your camera on a stack of books that can fall over during your shows. While it's possible to stream from a phone or tablet, I didn't investigate these methods. I was lucky in that I already had a decent camera and wanted to pursue the solution that I think would offer the best quality for my budget. Now to deal with audio. With my YouTube and stage shows, I already own microphones, and I found that I was able to use my normal video microphone to wirelessly send audio to my camera, which then sends synced audio and video to my PC. If you don't have this option, you may find that you'll have to plug in a microphone or use headphones with your computer. Or you can use the laptop's built-in microphone as a last resort. Hardware issues nearly solved, I had to decide where to perform the show. Aside from the aesthetics of the setting, I discovered that the most important consideration was my Wi-Fi and internet access. The last thing I want is to run into internet connection issues during my shows. When you watch my YouTube videos, I'm normally standing in my living room recording to a video camera without the need for Wi-Fi. The problem is, for live streaming, the Wi-Fi is not reliable in this room. I've dealt with some hardware solutions to this problem, but none have panned out to my satisfaction. So I needed to move to a location closer to the Wi-Fi router that's in my family room. Wi-Fi is the critical path that will determine where you can perform your virtual show. Ideally, you would connect your computer directly to your router with a cable for the best, least interruptible signal. By the way, if you want more technical information on my camera, lenses, and such, you can ask questions in the comments, and I'll try to answer them. I just think that the technical stuff is beyond the scope of this video. So now I have video that feeds into my computer and a place to perform my virtual show. Now it's time to consider performance issues, what I'm actually going to perform in the show. And first I have to decide if I'll be standing or sitting, which determines close-up or stand-up effects. There's lots of planning and experimenting to come. And the big question is, do I shave off this quarantine beard? We don't know if we're going to need virtual shows a year from now. I hope not. But to all my viewers, please stay safe, please stay healthy. If you have any questions, please comment below and I'll do my best to answer them. And also let me know if you want to see some follow-up videos on this particular topic, and I'll do my best to answer your questions.